Let's cover the last topic from all domains. We are going to see the reporting tools and techniques. The learning goals for this topic is going to be what are project reports, what are reporting systems, status reports, project performance reports, information management system, trend analysis, and variance analysis. The first slide is what are project reports? Basically, the project reports, they describe the information that we communicate to the project stakeholders. These project reports could be sent on a daily or a weekly or a monthly basis, depending on the organization. Some examples of the project reports include status reports, project updates, performance reports, meeting minutes, etc. Status reports identify new risks and issues that have been arisen in the current reporting period. What do the status reports do? They track the schedule, the cost, the scope, quality, statuses, and they check the variance against their respective baselines. This is what they do for the reporting period, and they provide planned information for the next reporting period. This helps the stakeholders stay on track with the project and see where is the project compared to where it was supposed to be. This will help the project manager fast track or take the necessary action to catch up on the project if they fall behind. The next one we have is what is reporting systems. Facilities, processes, and procedures used to generate or consolidate reports from one or more information management systems and facilitate report distribution to stakeholders. So, to facilitate and distribute the project reports, the status reports to the stakeholders, you're using information management systems. Basically, these information management systems are systems that hold the information regarding the whole project. The information management system will have all the reports. The information management system will have all the programs, necessary programs used to track and report projects. The information management system would have the location where all this is stored. So a project manager would use the information management system to facilitate and distribute this to the project manager. The reporting system will even include softwares that are in the information management system. For example, there's Microsoft Project. Microsoft Project is the project which is used to track the scope, the schedule, and the cost of the project. It also helps track the variance of these different baselines. Now let's take a look at what a Microsoft Project software looks like. This is the Microsoft Project software that the project manager would be using to track the project, to track the project status and see where they are with respect to their baselines. If you see up over here, this is a project for building a house, for example. You see over here, you have all the different task names that the project needs to go through, all the different tasks. Then the next column has the total number of days for the project and the number of days for each specific task. It has a start and the finish date for the whole project or for each specific task. Any predecessors that need to be done before that specific task is complete. For example, before the exterior brick is laid in, we need to finish task 43, which is install the windows. Now task 43 is over here, you cannot see it, but before that gets done, we need to install the windows before we lay the exterior bricks. In this software, you even see the resource names as to who is the resource completing that specific task. Then you see over here another column of actual cost and baseline cost. So baselines is the one that we said before, as in this is how much it's going to cost. And even though it looks like 0 over here because I have not completed this, but I would have the baseline cost. And then I would look into the actual cost as to, in my project, how much have I actually spent so far. And this will help me find the variance from the baseline. This will help me find the cost variance using the baseline, cost baseline. And it will let me know how much am I going to go over the project or how much am I going to spend under the project. I have a few more baselines where over here I could add the schedule baseline where I put in the actual schedule and the baseline schedule. I have a wrong one over here. I could always delete it and add a new column. And this is the actual duration. I have to look for the baseline duration or baseline schedule. Baseline cost, baseline work, baseline duration. Okay, so this will help me find the variation between what I set for the baseline, as in how many days it's going to take, and what is actually going to take. Then on the side, it shows me a Gantt chart where it gives me a preview of all of this and how they are connected to each other with their predecessors, and what are the different milestones and how do they connect, what needs to be done first, what needs to be done later. So the project manager, the business analyst would be working with Microsoft Project and monitoring their different baselines and work with the project and make sure that the project is getting done on time. They can even generate reports from this software as to where we are at right now, where we need to be, and they can submit these status reports to the customers. To get the project's reports, it's as easy as going to the project tab in here. Then you can go into visual reports, just the reports, or compare projects. So the project manager and the business analyst has access to all of these different types of reports that could be used to send out to the client, to the stakeholders. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. So let's see, and this is all part of the information management system as we talked about before. Let's see the next one. What is included in the status report? In a status report, we have planned activities for the current reporting period, completed activities in the current reported period, Activities planned but not completed in the current reporting period. Root causes of the activities variance. Why is there is a variance between these activities? With respect again to the baseline. Funds spent, how much money we spent during the current reporting period. How much money do we plan to spend in the current reporting period? Root causes of the funds variance, root causes of the quality variance, root causes of the scope variance, the schedule variance. And we had all this variance, so what did we do? What was our corrective plan or preventive plan of action that we used to go and get back on track? Planned activities for the next reporting period. So we have reported this from the first 15 days of the month. Now for the next 15 days, what have we planned to achieve? How much have we planned to finish in the scope? How much have we planned to spend the money? How much time do we plan on finishing the project, and so on and so forth. So new risks are identified in the status reports if there are issues and any comments. Okay, so let's take a look at what a status report looks like. A really simple status report that can go on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis or a monthly basis. So it gives a project manager name, it gives the milestones, it gives the dates, the planned dates, the actual dates, and the comments. It was delayed because of this reason, we had these variations. It will show the different tasks that we saw. Like there are all these different tasks that we see over here in the task table. So what did we accomplish in this week? Now this looks like a weekly status report. It can be a weekly, it can be a bi-weekly or a monthly status report, depending on the project, depending on the organization, depending on what's in the contract. So what we accomplish this week, you'll name the task. What do we plan for next week? You name the task and any issues or risks that were identified during this status report. Okay, very simple status report. It could be even more detailed depending on what is required and how much detail you need to submit. So what are project performance reports? Project performance report is filled out by the project manager and submitted on a regular basis to the sponsor, project portfolio management group, project management office, or other project oversight person or group. Now, this is the project performance report, as in how's our performance with the project? Are we going fast? Are we going slow? Are we going to finish the project on time? Or how is our speed? Are we finishing all the activities and all the tasks? So all that would be included in the performance report. How good are we performing? So the information is compiled from the team member status reports and also include overall project performance. So the project performance could include the earned value calculation, could include all the forecasting. What do we forecast with this project? Are we going to finish this on time, or are we going to get delayed? Do we need additional funds and stuff like that? It contains summary level information such as accomplishments rather than detailed activity level information. Project performance report tracks schedule and cost status for the current reporting period and provides planned information for the next period. It indicates impacts to milestones and cost reserves, as well as identifying new risks and issues that have arisen in the current reporting period. So it does identify if there is any impact to any of the milestones, important is the cost reserves. Do we have enough cost reserves? Because looks like our project might be delayed for some reason. Our scope has changed from the baseline and we need to add something more, add a few more extra tasks. So do we have that much cost reserves remaining, or there is a risk that happens and cost reserves are used to take care of these risks? Do we have enough reserves left? So all these things are going to be helpful when we see the project performance report and send it to the PMO office, to the sponsor, to the project portfolio management group. Now, what is information management system? There are a lot of questions on information management system even in the exam, so it's important to understand that, even though I have talked about before over here and a few other different lectures as well. So let's see the description. An information management system provides a standard tool for project manager to capture, store, and distribute information to stakeholders about the project cost, schedule progress, and performance. And one of the best examples that you would see is Microsoft Project. This is the information management system. This is where all the cost, scope, schedule is there. And this is actually part of your information management system, where all the information is stored, how we are going to send information from here to the stakeholders, what other softwares are needed, where are these softwares saved. All this is part of the information management system. Now let's take a look at the last slide. During which process group does the reporting happen? So it's important to understand that it happens in the monitoring and controlling process group. Okay, this is where we do all the reporting. When we get to the monitor, all the way down here, when we get to the traceability and monitoring, you see the same thing over here, and this is where the reporting really happens, in the traceability and monitoring domain. It happens in the monitor and control process group. Monitor and controlling project work is the process of tracking, reviewing, and reporting the progress to meet project objectives as defined in the project management plan. So you have to refer to the project management plan to see how have we planned to do the reporting of the project. How many times do we send it to the stakeholders? Is it weekly, is it bi-weekly, or is it monthly? What needs to be sent in the progress report or the project report or the status report? What are we going to benefit of this process is that it allows stakeholders to understand the current state of project, the next steps taken, the budget, the schedule, and the scope forecast. This is where I was talking about. They will do the forecast calculation, they will do the earned value management, and update it and send it out to the stakeholders. So the stakeholders get an idea as to where they stand right now. What is the technique trend analysis used for? Now we saw variance analysis, which is with respect to the baselines. Now let's see what trend analysis is. Trend analysis is an analytical technique that uses mathematical models to forecast future outcomes based on historical results. So over here you're using mathematical calculations, mathematical models. Here you're doing earned value. Here you're doing forecasting calculations. It is a method of determining the variance from the baseline of a budget, cost, schedule, or scope parameter by using prior progressing reporting periods data and projecting how much the parameters variance for baseline might be at a future point in the project. If no changes are made in the executing of the project. So if everything remains the way it's going right now, we can calculate the trend. We can calculate the trend at the pace we are going, at the cost we are going, at the scope we are going, and we can calculate the trend using the earned value formulas, using the forecasting formulas, and then we should be able to get a mathematical calculation of the forecast for future outcomes based on historical results. Now, just taking a look at some of the calculations that you might need to do, but mostly this is the project manager that does all the calculation, all the forecasting, but it's always good to know. In your business analyst examination, these questions won't be asked, but if you are appearing for the PMP exam, then you need to master all these calculations. So these are all the formulas you might have to use to get these. So planned value, earned value, you are going to get the to complete performance index, see the cost variance, the schedule variance, cost performance index, schedule performance index, estimate at completion, this is the earned value, and estimate to complete, variance at completion. So you'll be having to work with all these formulas, mathematical formulas, and calculate the different variances. So what are some of the uses of the WBS? WBS is a work breakdown structure. Let's take a quick look at the picture of what a WBS looks like, and I will cover the work breakdown structure in detail when I get to that domain, which is analysis. So this is your work breakdown structure, and simple example again over here is for the house construction. In the work breakdown structure, you would see the different levels that the whole task is broken down under. So it's broken down into 3 levels over here, level 1, 2, and 3, broken down in foundation, internal work, and external work for the house. That's level 1. Then level 2 is in the foundation, you have excavation, you have steel erection. And in level 3, in excavation, you have pouring the concrete, curing, and stripping. So it shows the whole breakdown of all the tasks that are required to complete the house. It even shows how much each task costs, the budget, and how long it is going to take for the project schedule. So this work breakdown structure breaks down everything that needs to be done, every task that needs to be done to complete the whole project. So what does this include? Let's go back to our slide. So uses for the work breakdown structure. It's a thought process tool, it's a planning tool, and it's a project status reporting tool. Okay, when we went to the Microsoft project, this is like the work breakdown structure, but work breakdown structure is in a graphical format. Over here you see the same thing. You see the task, you see the duration for each task, you see the start date, the finish date, the predecessors, the actual cost, baselines, and all that stuff. So the work breakdown structure is going to be helpful as a project status reporting tool as well. So we can take a look at the work breakdown structure and identify where we are at during this stage of the project, how much have we completed, how much we still need to finish, what is, if any, variation from the project, and even calculate the estimate towards completion and any earned value calculations. So the last technique that we see over here is the variance analysis technique. So by now you should have an idea of what the variance analysis is. As we saw over here, the variance analysis is with respect to the baselines. We've identified the cost, scope, schedule, baseline, and then we see the actual cost, the scope, and the schedule, and with respect to that we calculate the variation. So what does the variance analytical technique help with? The variance analysis reports collect and assemble information on project performance variance. Common topics that are included are schedule, cost, quality, scope, variance. Okay, so you have schedule variance, cost variance, quality variance, scope variance. Information on a variance analysis includes the planned results, the actual results, the variance from the planned results, the root cause that caused that variance, and the planned response to fix the variance. So this will be the same for the schedule, the cost, the scope, and the quality variance. So this finishes this domain where we covered the topics that are covered throughout the project. So it doesn't belong to just one domain. All these topics that we covered in all domains basically belong to all the domains that the business analyst works with. And the all domains, as I said before, includes needs assessment, planning, analysis, traceability, and monitoring and evaluation. So the next domain that we are going to cover is going to be needs assessment. So until next time, I'll see you again. Thanks for watching.